So that tells you a little bit about the company, about the image of the company, the advertising campaign that we have done all over the world, and about basically who we are. Now, to go back to the beginning, to the starting, I'm gonna try something. You tell me. Can you hear me? Because I don't like being behind the podium. You tell me if you don't hear me. Basically, what happened is, let's go back even earlier than 18. Because basically when we discovered that we had a passion for fashion is when we were still in high school. And when we were still in high school, in France, during the week, there is one day where you don't go to school. And then we go to school on Saturday morning, but there's one day you don't go to school. And then we were going to clubs. We were going to clubs on that day, like this day club, not nightclub, too young, and no alcohol. And so we were going to these clubs, and it was on, during the Wednesday, it was Wednesday and Sunday. And then very early on, I was probably 15, and I started, I loved the music so much, I became a DJ in one of these clubs. And this went on for quite a while. And what happened there is we really, because we were going to clubs, so we really loved to be dressed fashionably and all that, but we were not going to like the best stores in the city. We were going to, strangely enough, thrift shops. So back to Mark. That's where really our passion, and we were completely in love with all the American fashion, but really in the thrift shop, it was all clothes coming from America. And we were spending hours there, picking the right shirt, the right jacket and all that. And then we were selling it to our friends in school because they didn't know where to get it. So we were selling it. So that was the real beginning of us being in fashion and in this business. But back to then how we started. We started when we started first by working in a clothing shop as a salesman. And then we are four brothers, and we decided back in 1972, we decided, why don't we open our own stores? And so we opened our own store, and the first store was, believe it or not, a custom-made suit store. We were making custom-made suits. And selling jeans also, but you know, the main thing was custom-made suit, and then we were selling ties and all that. And the interesting thing is that the first thing that we ever manufactured were ties. Because we had a friend of ours who was selling us ties for the store. And then we knew this guy from the clubs and all that, and we said, hey, if this guy can make ties, we can make ties. So we went and we bought a few yards of fabric, and we found out how to make ties, and we started making ties. Not only for our stores, but we were selling it to other stores. And then after that, one of our clients in a shop approached us and said, listen, you know, I have this blouse for women, you know, I cannot get enough. It was like what they were wearing in the choir, you know, this choir blouse, you know, with the lace, all white, simple, and it was big in fashion at that time. So she asked us if we could make some. So okay, you know, why not? You know, we can try. And I went to see a seamstress who was working with us, making alteration and all that, you know, for the suits. And I asked her if she could do it. I came back the next morning, and she had one. And so I asked her, you know, so what do I need to do? So talking about the beginning, you know. And she said, okay, you know, you have to buy this kind of fabric, okay? It was a very light cotton fabric. And you buy the lace, and you go here, you go there, you know. And I say, okay. So I brought the fabric, and she cut it in her dining room. And I came back the next morning, and she had like Band-Aid everywhere because she was cutting the whole night with scissors. And then I say, oh, so now what do I do? She say, oh, you know, I have a cousin of mine, she's a seamstress, and she can sew it for you. Okay, so I went to see the cousin, and I say, can you do this for me? She said, okay, you know, come back in 2 days. Come back in 2 days, they were done, and here I am with, I think I had something like 100 blouses, and I went to the customer, and sure enough, she sold it in like a few days. It was really crazy. And then we made more and more and more. And that was the real beginning of us doing any kind of manufacturing out of nowhere. We didn't know anything from this business. We didn't come from this business. Our father is a rabbi. And so we didn't know anything about this business. And so we started like that. And from there, after that, we started making some dresses. And then at the beginning, everything had to be one size only. No buttonhole, no zippers, no nothing, because we didn't know anything about that. It had to be so simple. So the first dress we ever did was this dress, kimono dress. How do you call it? Wrap dress, right? So there was nothing there. So that's how we started. And then about probably 6 months later or 8 months later, we said, you know what? Why don't we start making jeans? By then, we had opened, the first store we opened was in Marseille. And then by then we had opened a store in Bandol, which was a resort city in France. And we in that store, we were selling, of course, in the resort city. Forget about the suits were gone, everything was gone. It was all casual, it was all jeans and t-shirts. This is the picture that you saw in black and white. That was us in that store, which was 300 square foot on the harbor. And this was the store where we started. We first started. And as you saw, maybe we had a lot of t-shirts from America. And it was all about the American style and all the American lifestyle. So we did that, and we opened more stores after that. And by 1976, we had 22 stores, all in the south of France. And our dream, that's why I was talking about the American lifestyle. Our dream was really to one day be able to visit California. So one day, in '77, we came here in September '77, we came here, and sure enough, we came just to visit. And sure enough, fell in love with Los Angeles. And 2 months later, in November, we opened our first store here in Century City. We were lucky because we are 4 brothers. And so 2 of the brothers came here, and 2 of the brothers stayed in France. And we were importing everything from France. We were making everything. Our stores at that time in France were called MGA. And the first store we opened here was MGA as well. Guess didn't exist yet. So, and MGA stands for Maurice, Georges, Armand, the 3 of the brothers. And so we started opening the stores here. And then by 1981, we decided, okay, you know what? We cannot stay split like that. Let's sell all the business in France, and then we all come here. So my other 2 brothers came here, and now we didn't have a supply. We didn't have goods anymore. So we had to start manufacturing some goods here, and that's how this was in 1981, at the end of '81, and then in January '82, that's when we started Guess. And we started Guess here. We had no idea what to do because we didn't know the manufacturing here. We had not manufactured. We didn't know the wholesale business, but we did it. We started. We say, okay, you know what? If we can get to make like 5,000 units a week one day, that would be amazing. And we started making jeans and some blouses and all that. And one day, at the beginning of '82, we came up, first of all, everybody thought we were crazy because 1982, you're too young to remember, but 1982 was a big recession here. And there was a big glut, big saturation of denim in the market. And everybody thought that we were crazy. The last thing that we needed was another denim supplier in America. But what we did is we came up with completely a different kind of styling and a different process on the jeans. And we came up with the what we call the free zips, which mean the jean very tight, very sexy, with a zipper at the ankle, and very short. It was just going to the ankle, yeah. And we made it stonewash. Today I tell you stonewash, everybody knows stonewash, so it's no big deal. At the time, nobody knew what it was. Everybody again thought that all the buyers and all that, they thought we were crazy. What, you're washing the jeans with stone? You're crazy? And the idea came from Adriano Goldsmith in Italy. At the time he was in Italy. He's the one who came up with that concept, but here nobody knew about that. And because we are from France and we are always in touch with the fashion there, so we saw that in Italy and we completely flipped and then we brought it here. And so we introduced the stonewash here in America. And so that's how we started. Let me tell you, the thing about us is that everything that we did was very unconventional. And it was very unconventional just because we didn't know any better. So we had to do things and we just found a way to do it. So when we started, we had a rep who was representing several brands. And he took our, we had a very small line of nothing. And so, but we were not, we were selling well the jeans in our stores, but we were not getting orders from him. You know, very small, you know, from here and there. So we got a little bit frustrated and we say, you know what, why don't you give us the name of all the buyers of the department stores in the States, you know, and we will contact them. So we got the names of the buyers and we send them FedEx 2 pair of jeans, the stonewash jeans, the free zip, and we say, here, you know, this is who we are, you know, we are guests, and this is what we are selling. We get some answers, and one of the answers was from Bloomingdale. And Bloomingdale ordered 24 pair of the jeans. So we sent it to them, and they sold in like half a day. Literally in half a day, as soon as they put it on the floor. So they reordered right away 120 jeans. And we shipped it again, and then they sold it in 1 week, and then they reordered 600. And it's true. And we shipped the 600. Now, what I should mention in here, and that's why I say we're doing everything very unconventional, is that the way we were working was not like we present a line and then we're going to ship you in 6 months. Because we were retailers first, before being manufacturers, we were manufacturing for our stores. So we were manufacturing everything in advance. And so that's how we really started, and that's how we could make the business happen so fast. And that served us extremely well, because what we did is then, as the business picked up, we started the advertising very early on in '82. Like 3 months after we started, we did our first campaign. I should mention, first campaign was 1 picture in the Los Angeles magazine. That's it. Forget Vogue, forget too expensive. So it was in the Los Angeles magazine. So, but we got known like that. And what happened then is, because we were manufacturing everything in Los Angeles, and we were manufacturing in advance and all that, so we went, the first year we did $6 million. Then the second year, we did $20 million sales. Huh? Then the third year, we did 85 million. And then the fourth year, we did $250 million. And all manufactured in Los Angeles. So we had to work with a lot of contractors and all that. And we had, at one point, we had the biggest cutting room here in LA. And we ended up manufacturing, remember, our dream was to manufacture 5,000 units a week. We ended up manufacturing 500,000 units a week here in Los Angeles, which was unheard of. It was really unheard of. And then what we did also is, in terms of our advertising, you've seen the pictures. The other thing that we did is, in the advertising, everybody was doing advertising in colors and all that. And when we started our first campaign, you know, they were in color, but they were a little bit edgy already. And then in 83, yeah, toward the end of 83, we said, you know, why do like everybody else? You know, why don't we do it differently? And that's when we started to do the advertising in black and white and guess written in red. And that's when really the advertising went, you know, very significant, you know, for guests. So which means that when you saw an ad in black and white, you knew that it was guess right away. And that, you know, made a big difference. The other thing also that we did is always thinking, you know, long term and all that. And in building a brand, what we did is we were advertising also in Europe. And even though we were not selling anything in Europe, we started to do advertising there. And the reason was, for us, we figured that if we wanted to be known all over the world, the French magazine at the time, in the 80s, were the most recognized from a fashion point of view all over the world. Elle and Marie Claire and all that. So we started advertising there, even though there was, everybody again thought that we were crazy because, you know, there was nothing, we were not selling anything there. But sure enough, what this did, it brought the brand awareness all over the world, really built the brand awareness, and then by the same token, then this has brought us later on a lot of distributors and licensees from all over the world. So that's how we've been really building the business and be innovative in everything we're doing and just make it happen. And everything was happening so fast for us. We were just busy, just reacting to the business and providing everything for the business. We started our first licensee. We did some licensing very early on in 1983. Again, thanks to the advertising, because it brought a lot of awareness of the name. So we did advertising first for knitwear, and then for men, and then for the third license that we signed, which is very significant, was for watches, and we signed that in '83, our licensee for watches. And today, and we thought, okay, you know, if we at the time, you know, when we were approached by this licensee, we say, oh, big deal, you know. What are we going to do selling watches? You know, we're making jeans, what are we going to sell watch? And we thought, okay, you know, if we have a business of 10 million or whatever, you know, it will be a great business. And that business grew to today to the level of $350 million all over the world. You know, for fashion watches, it's really a great business. Then, by the time we develop our business with all the department stores and with the specialty retail stores, and we had our own stores, but our own stores was basically almost like a side business. It was like a lab for us. So we had probably 40, 50 stores by the mid-90s. Now, and in the mid-90s, in 1996, we went public. We decided to go public because we wanted to, what we wanted to do then is we wanted to make sure that a lot of people in the company will participate and will have some kind of ownership in the company. So we decided, in order to attract talent and all that, so we decided to, that's why we decided to go public. So we went public in 96. And in 96, lucky, in 96, a lot of companies, designers jeans, came into the market. We were not into the market before. Like Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, Polo jeans, and they all came into the market lower than us. At the time, I forgot to tell you, when we started also, another thing, we came up, when we first started in 82, jeans were selling at like $26. And we came up at the opening price point for us was $48 and going up to $85. And everybody was like, oh. And it's like when the first premium denim started, lately, it was the same thing for Guess, and Guess was really the craze everywhere, despite the prices, and or for the price. And so we did. What happened then I'm going back to the 90s and 96 now and 97, when all the designer jeans came into the market. Then we were faced with a very big problem. Because all these, now, instead of having just moderate brand, coming at the price cheaper than us and all that, now we had to compete with real designers, okay, who were coming then at $48, which means $20 less expensive than us. So we had a big problem there, and it took us some time to react. And we decided to come up with a line which we call the Bare Basics. And at $48, and then we had the regular line that we kept at the price. That didn't work. So to tell you that there are a lot of challenge, in the business, that didn't work. And then we had to revise our strategy. And then we came down, and to be in the competition, we came down. And then we started really rebuilding the business, and very quick the business went back up. But what happened is that more and more everything became about price, about promotion, about really key item, no, not really key item, but about really just giving price. It was more about the price. And everything with a department store was, can you give me this at this price? And and I need a special promotion for this and special promotion for that. And slowly, what happened is that we eroded the brand. And the mystique of the brand and the prestige of the brand. And beside that, we got to a point where we didn't enjoy what we were doing anymore. I didn't like what we were doing. And so this was like in 2000 now. And we say, you know what? We cannot continue like that. This is not us. This is not our customer. Our customer really want, when they come to us, they want to see newness, they want to see creativity, they don't really care. Of course, you have to be reasonable, but they don't come to us for the price. So we decided one thing, which was what I call a shift of paradigm for us in our business. And that shift of paradigm is we went from a wholesaler and to be wholesale-centric to be a retailer and to be retail-centric. So which means that we were going to do whatever was right for the brand and to do everything that we thought and we believe very strongly we had to do and say that we were sure that they were selling in our stores. So we went away from all the promotion, we went away from all the price points and all that. And again, everybody thought, you know, and we had very good relationship with all the department stores and all that. And everybody was telling us, you're crazy, you know, you should not do that. You're gonna lose so much business, we're gonna close some doors. But we really believed, when we did it, we knew that it was gonna be painful. But we really believed that this was the right thing to do for the long term, for the longevity of the brand. And that's what we decided. We decided that we were gonna concentrate on opening much more retail stores and becoming a retailer. And then we knew that our wholesale business was going to shrink. And sure enough, it shrank from 500 million, we went down to, in a few years, we went down to $150 million in wholesale. And it took us some time to gain back all this business through our retail stores, but we did it. And now today, with the time, then from the dumbest people on earth that we were, you know, in 2000, now we became the visionary of the business because we saw it, you know, so early on. And when we did it, we announced it to everybody. We said, listen, you know, we want you to know, we are doing that, but we really believe that it's not only for us, it's for every brand. They will have no choice, you know, in the future, in 5 years, 10 years from now maximum, they will have no choice than to control their own distribution, to control their own destiny. And more now, the designers are coming to open their own retail stores. What we did also at the time is we decided to concentrate on the international business. And then in 2005, we bought back our licensee. We had licensed the business in Europe. We had a licensee who was doing all the business in Europe. And we did that in '98. In 2005, we bought back this license. And at the time, they were doing $45 million euro in sales for all over Europe, which is really like not very much. We bought it in January 2005, and today we are doing 500 million euro in Europe. And the way we've done it, it's not like because we're geniuses or whatever, it's just because our strategy, again, was to say, here, you need, and we kept telling our licensee, you need to open retail stores. This is the way you're going to build your business. You need the visibility in the street. You need to have your own retail stores. You need to have your own environment. But they were not retailers, and they didn't understand it. They didn't know how to do it. So when we took over, this is what we did. And at the time when we took over, there were only like 10 retail stores in Europe. And today we have over 200 stores in Europe. So, and that's how we built the business. At the same time, we made a big push also in Asia. And in Asia, same thing, we bought back our licensee in South Korea. And then we started the business in China. And now we have a great business, mostly more in South Korea than in China, because China we just started last year. And China is a little bit more difficult. It's an interesting country. And so today, with all of that, with all the advertising that we've done all over the world, and the building of the awareness, today we have 1,200 stores in 68 countries all over the world. So we are really a global brand. And the video that I showed you just before is a video that we did for the 25th anniversary of Guess, which was in 1987. And as you could see, we were all over the world. And with all of that, we still have so much room to grow in our business all over the world. And we have also started not long ago, about a year and a half ago, 2 years, we started G by Guess. Wendy?
Just a little under 2 years ago.
Under 2 years ago. We started a new brand called G by Guess, who is a little bit younger than Guess, a little bit lower price than Guess, really for the aspirational customer of Guess, who cannot afford Guess yet, but we want to make it, but we are making it exciting for that customer, but we are offering something really of great value to that customer. Now, talking now real quickly about the ingredients. You know, if I can give you some ingredients about building a business and being in this business. First of all, you need to have passion. Without passion in this business, you better be somewhere else. You know, there's nothing, you know, you cannot do very much without passion in this business. You need to really love what you're doing and to have this fire, you know, when you come and work and be in the fashion industry. The other thing you need a real commitment to what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, by real commitment is, you start something, you really go after it. You really do everything you can, and you find a way to do it. And you don't, you know, there's going to be some challenges, but you go over the challenges. You find a way. You have to think, and in order to do that, you have to think out of the box. You have to, basically, you have to make things happen. And in order to make things happen, it's like what I was describing before. When we didn't get the orders, we didn't just wait for the orders. We find a way, you know, when we shipped all the jeans to all the buyers in the department stores, that's the way we did it. And there are many more examples of things like that we have done. The other thing, common sense. Always use your common sense. Very important. Not everything is in a book. There's not a book of everything, all the challenge which you're going to face in a business. So you just have to always use your common sense. Stay focused. Don't overextend. Once you get to a certain level and you get to a certain success in your business, then the temptation comes very fast to say, oh my God, you know, and then I can do this and I can do that and I can do that. And that's the best way to lose the focus and to really basically lose your business. So it's very important to always stay focused, and specifically for us it's been crucial because as a brand you always have to know who you are. You always have to stay true to the brand, which is not always easy, because as a brand, yes, you have to remain true to yourself, but you need to innovate all the time. You need to basically change, but change and stay into who you are. So it's a real challenge, but you have to learn how to do that and to stay in there. If not, you're going to lose your identity, and if you lose your identity, then you're going to lose your customers. Be relentless. Very important. Nothing, if you really believe in something, you go after it, and you go after it, and you go after it. And you're relentless at it. And you have to always challenge yourself, which means no matter how successful you are, you have to always challenge yourself in the way, how can I do things more efficiently? How can I do things better? And always try to find a way to be more efficient. Another thing, no complacency. You've seen in one of the words from Paul, my brother, is don't feel comfortable. You know, with success also, very often in a lot of companies, comes complacency. And in our company, there's this joke, you know, each time, don't get comfortable, you know. Everybody goes around, you know, don't get comfortable. And there is a book, a small book, that if you can, you should read. It's 70 pages, it's very easy to read. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? I don't know if you heard of it. It's a very simple book, but that book is so true to life. And you see it happening all the time, not only in this industry, in any business, in any industry. Basically, about being comfortable, it's about these two mouse, and one of the mouse, you know, has eaten the cheese, you know, and she's so much cheese, and the cheese is next to her, so she goes to sleep, you know, and she's full. And the other mouse didn't eat very much, and she stay awake, right? And then the cheese, somebody comes and bring the cheese away, okay? And it's through a maze. But the one who was still awake, you know, and watching the cheese, she followed the cheese. The other one, she started running, but she could not find the cheese. The lesson in that is always, always be aware of what's going on. Whatever you do, always be aware of what's going on around you in the market. In our business, you blink an eye, and there's somebody who has already passed you. So you have to always be aware of what's going around you, okay? And then the last thing, and probably the most important thing in a business, surround yourself with a very strong team. And always have a great team and be a great partner, a great teammate with your team. When you came in, I hope everybody has grabbed the bags, the guest bags. In the guest bags, you're gonna find there's a small card. I always have it on me. This card. The guest rules, okay? There's only 6. And basically, and all in the company, we all live by these rules. And we always, whatever we do, we always go back to these rules. These rules, what are the rules? Basically, all the ingredients that I gave you here. Meaning attitude, when I was talking about passion, very important. And I was mentioning to some of you earlier that very often we will pick, if we have 2 candidates, we will pick the candidate with the best attitude over the candidate with the best experience. Okay? So attitude is very, very important, very important. You know, somebody who has a great attitude, who has a great passion for what they want to do, you can, if they don't have the experience, they're going to learn the experience. You're going to teach them everything you know. And they want it so much that they're going to do, and they're going to do great. Okay? Common sense. I mentioned the common sense. Get things done when I tell you, be relentless. Okay? Follow up repeatedly. Stop worrying about your boss. Very important. Okay? We don't want, the culture we have at Guess is very open culture, very open door culture. There is no layer, and it's really, even though the company today is a nice company, is a big company, but we don't want the company to lose the entrepreneurship spirit. We want the company to stay a family company, and we have quite a few people here from Guess, and I think they can all attest to that. And the last thing is be a good teammate, which I mentioned earlier. So this is how we have built our business. I'm sure that you have some question. Before we go into the question and answer, I'd like to show you a very, very short video again, but this one is very short. And this is a video that we have done. We have started 3 years ago. We have started something that we call One World, One Brand. To communicate to have all our distributors and all our licensing across all product getting together in one place. And it's a 3-day seminar where we share all the strategy and we share everything, our vision and everything with everybody from all around the world. And we share the training program with them, we share everything with them. And this is a video that we did for the last One World, One Brand, which was here in Los Angeles. This time, last year it was in Singapore. This year it was here in Los Angeles. And this is the video, and you will see basically the message is we are really a global brand, but even though we are a global brand, we are only one across all product, across all countries. It's coming. Technology. It's very short, so.
the kind that only comes from high above. If you ever meet your inner child, don't cry, no, no. Tell them everything is gonna be alright. World, hold on. Instead of messing with our future, open up this eye. World, hold on. One day you will have to answer to the children of the sky. World, hold on. Come on. Everybody in the universe. World, come on. Hold on. One day you will have to answer to the children of the sky. Children of the sky. Open up your heart, tell me, how do you feel? Listen and tell them everything.